Hi there, I'm Vincent Bos, and I'm a life coach, relationship coach, and breakup coach. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing this delays your ex coming back. I provide audio coaching for breakup recovery, trying to get an ex back, attracting someone new, and life coaching. Visit www.dateme.tips for more details. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. Subscribe to my weekly support emails. The link is in the description. So now let's get back into today's podcast. And today we are discussing this delays your ex coming back. So if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, you want them to return ASAP. Now, although there is no guaranteed way to definitively say that an ex will be coming back, there is a good chance that it could take place. But when? In today's podcast, I'll be discussing 3 situations which could cause a delay in your ex potentially coming back. So let's get straight into this, and point number 1 is rebound relationship. Now, this is something as a dumpee, I'm sure you don't want to be thinking about, but we have to focus on the reality of what might be taking place, and unfortunately your ex-dumper may get into what we call a rebound relationship. Now, although that might sound scary, the good news, dumpees, is that if it is a rebound relationship, this means that it won't last forever. Now, I define a rebound relationship as a new relationship which begins within a year or so post-breakup. Now, there are other red flags of what we could distinguish as a rebound relationship, but for today in today's podcast, we're going to keep it somewhat light on the ground about what we define as a rebound relationship and more about focusing on how this affects you as a dumpee, potentially seeing your ex-dumper wanting to return. And the fact is that if your ex does get into one of these new relationships, well, that's not so good initially, but as I've said, it is likely to end if it is what we call a rebound relationship, and therefore beginning within a year or so post-breakup and ending almost as quickly as it began, likely within a few months. But if it is a few months long, what this means is that your ex-dumper is not going to be necessarily thinking of you, the dumpee, and wanting to reconnect. Now, of course, every situation is different and unique. You could be in a position where your ex-dumper is thinking of you a lot, and hence maybe that is one of the reasons why their rebound relationship ends. Because they are thinking of you, they are focusing on you, and they are reaching out eventually to you, which therefore ends their rebound connection. But in other instances, a rebound relationship may need to go the length of time it has to, go through its course, you could say, before your ex-dumper is going to self-reflect on their life so far and reconsider their decision where they ended your relationship. Now, this isn't just about your ex. If you are in a position, dumpees, where you don't want your ex back, you don't have to be just waiting around for them, and then if they do contact you, say, oh yes, I'm here, let's get back together. This isn't just about what they want, but they have to decide they want to come back for there even to be a possibility of reconnection taking place. Of course, you both need to want the relationship to happen for it to reconnect. So we need your ex-dumper to change their mind. But that's not to say that you just have to sit there and almost wait for what they say and jump as soon as they want you back. It's your choice as well. But assuming that you do want your ex back, of course, you have already decided that on your side of the equation, and we now need your ex-dumper to come to that same conclusion. And therefore, if they are in a rebound relationship, the likelihood is this needs to go the length of what it needs to be, whether that is weeks or months. And when it comes to the end, that is when they are going to go through this process of self-reflection. And if you've done everything right your end, if you've behaved in an attractive way, there is absolutely a possibility that they'll be thinking, well, I got into this new relationship, it didn't work out, that didn't go very well, did it? Maybe I need to consider what I did before, maybe that was a wrong choice. Maybe I should try and reach out to my dumpee. Especially, like I said, if you as a dumpee have been living your life in an attractive way, this is going to be pulling on your ex-dumper during and certainly after their rebound relationship has ended. So what is the time frame for all of this to take place? Well, we could say and ask, how long is a piece of string? There is no definitive way to pinpoint precisely. But what I suggest is that from my own research, I have seen that most dumpers reach out to dumpees between the 6 to 12 month mark. Now, if you do fall into this category, or even if you are beyond the average and your ex-dumper reaches out to you 1-2 years down the line, this could be due to the fact they are in a rebound relationship. And this is the point, really. We're thinking today about what delays your ex-dumper wanting to come back. So if you are in a position where everything is right your end, you could say everything is going well from your point of view and you are behaving in an attractive way, and you just can't really figure out why your ex isn't even just contemplating the possibility of returning. Well, one of the main reasons might be is that they are in a rebound and this needs to play out until it ends. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast. Please give this video a like and let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you like my content, subscribe to the channel to keep updated. And point number 2 is the time of year. Now, this is a really interesting point within today's podcast when we are discussing this delays your ex coming back, and that is the time of year. Now, remember a moment ago when I was saying the average amount of time that I see a dumper reconsidering and reaching out to a dumpee is between the 6 to 12 month mark. Well, it's not always down to a rebound relationship. It could be due to a whole manner of things. And one of the things that does play a part is what I call the single honeymoon period. And this is a period of time that your ex-dumper almost needs to get out of their system before they are likely to reconsider their decision, living their life in a way that they felt they couldn't within your relationship. They need to do the things they want to do, see the things they want to see, sadly maybe date other people as we've already mentioned, but not necessarily. Ultimately, whether they are seeing their friends more, exploring new hobbies and interests, doing some travel, just having some time to themselves, whatever it may be, we often see the single honeymoon period needing to play out before your ex-dumper may reconsider their choice. Now, this length of time matches nicely with what I describe as the average time I see a dumper reaching out to a dumpee. 6 to 12 months. That is the average single honeymoon period that somebody will have to go through before they start to think, you know what, that was kind of new and exciting, but now it's feeling somewhat old and mundane. I'm not really interested anymore about these new things I wanted to try. They don't feel new anymore. They're not exciting. So maybe I should actually think back to what was making me happy originally. And therefore you as a dumpee might then come into their mind. However, we sometimes see a delay in your ex-dumper returning due to the time of year. Now, this is where it all comes together. Now, imagine this 6 to 12 month mark whenever your ex-dumper is in a position where ordinarily they would self-reflect. Maybe ordinarily at this particular moment, your specific unique dumper would have entered what I call the crossroads, where they really think, did I make the right choice? Yes or no? If they hit that moment during a time of year where they have lots of things going on, this can really affect their choice and delay their decision. Now, everybody is going to have their own unique moment in time, which this could really match up to. But to be generalized, I would say it is the end of the year. Now, if we consider the average person, let's just say in America, in North America even, okay, if we consider most people in that demographic, they are going to be having lots of things coming up during the end of year. They will have Thanksgiving in November. They will most likely be celebrating Christmas. They will also have New Year's Eve. These are big dates on the calendar. They often connect with parties, gatherings, celebrations, plans, things to do, things to see, presents and gifts to buy, all things which can cloud your mind. If your ex-dumper is just coming out of that single honeymoon period, maybe they are coming out of a rebound, as we've already mentioned in point number 1. Maybe if this was at any other point in the year, they would actually be at a stage where they might reach out to you. However, it's November, it's December. Now, this doesn't just connect with North America. You could be anywhere in the world and perhaps see the end of the year as being a very busy time, especially New Year's Eve. That is almost universal for most people on the planet. Christmas, whether you are a Christian or religious or not, most people around the planet celebrate Christmas to one degree or another. Again, it's huge for a lot of people. Now, if we then add things like Thanksgiving, which people in North America celebrate, but other things on your unique calendar, wherever you are in the world, whatever you do, these are things which can really delay your thought process. You would ordinarily be thinking of something, but it's delayed because you've got a lot on your mind. You've got to plan this party. You've got to travel to the other end of the country to go and see your family. You've got to buy these gifts. You've got to work longer hours to afford buying these presents. Okay, so you can see how the time of year can actually technically delay your ex coming back. Because if their mind is full, if their mind is clouded, they are less likely to self-reflect, less likely to come to a conclusion of reaching out, and therefore less likely to get back together with you. Now, there is a caveat to this, which is the time of year that I've mentioned in this example actually has unique moments where they might think of you more. And this is where it is almost 50-50. It could be delaying your ex coming back, or it could actually be the catalyst. If we are to think of New Year's Eve in particular, that particular day on the calendar is a very powerful day for people to think back to their past, think back about what they've been doing throughout the year, and you as a dumpee might appear in their mind then, and you may receive a message, even if it is not necessarily at that stage due to a reconnection thought in your ex-dumper's mind. It could be the door opening to you perhaps getting back together. So the time of year is a very interesting one. If it is connected to the end of the year, like I said, it's almost 50-50. Some things could be delaying your ex, but there could actually be an opportunity for you to pop into their mind and then want to reach out to you, even if it's not necessarily initially, at least, for romance. But ultimately, the time of year can affect your dumper coming back. It can delay them, and it doesn't have to be connected to November and December. They were just examples I gave. Wherever you live in the world, whatever your culture is, whatever your specifics are, it could be at a different time of year, but you get the picture. If your ex is getting to the stage of reconsidering their decision, but their life is full and busy and lots of things going on, it might delay their decision. Now, if you would like advice and support about how to try and increase the chance of one day getting your ex back, then you may want to consider my audio coaching service, where me and you can speak one-on-one about your unique specific situation. This is the best and diamond level of support that I can provide. Go to my website www.dateme.tips for more information about how I can become your coach and your teammate via my audio coaching service. Talking about your feelings can also improve your mental health. It helps prevent the buildup of negative emotions, which can lead to stress, anxiety, depression, and even physical health issues. Speak your heart to free your mind. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast. If you feel that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description. And point number 3 is stop, start, no contact. So today we're speaking about this delays your ex coming back. And this, point number 3, is probably one of the biggest reasons why your ex might be delaying coming back. And that is stop, start, no contact. Now, you've probably heard of the no contact rule. It's something that lots of people suggest you implement if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back. However, there are many different versions of the no contact rule that you can find online, and I believe that my version will give you that best possible chance of success. So I suggest that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, ring the bell for notifications, and check out the playlist entitled The No Contact Rule. This is where you can fully immerse yourself in my version of a rule and understand why I believe it will give you that best possible chance of success. And it's important to understand my version of no contact, because to break it down in a very simplistic sense right now, of course you really need to listen through to understand all the nuances and caveats to what I describe in other podcasts, but to break it down in a generalized sense as a bullet point is that most dumpees should never contact their ex again unless their ex the dumper contacts them first. Now, as I said, there are exceptions to the rule and nuances and caveats, but that is a generalized thought that you should be having as a dumpee. Now, if you ignore that suggestion and you periodically reach out to your ex, in my belief, you are restarting the clock. So let's say, for instance, you broke up in January and now it's July, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, my ex the dumper ended the relationship 7 months ago. I'm now in that golden period, that 6 to 12 month mark. My ex the dumper might be reaching out to me sometime soon. Now, first of all, it's important to say that there is no guaranteed way to get an ex back. This is an average, but let's just say that you ordinarily would have been falling into that perspective. Ordinarily, if you lived your best life and lived in the right way, then maybe your ex the dumper would have come to that conclusion around the time that you are now. It's 7 months or so post-breakup. However, let's just say in this instance, although you were dumped in January, you have periodically reached out to your ex. Let's just say you reached out in February, Valentine's Day. Then maybe you reached out in April. Then perhaps in May, you sent another message. Every time you are doing this, you are breaking no contact. Any wonder that your ex the dumper had about you is gone. Any consideration about what you might be doing, how you are living your life, whether you're dating anybody else, it disappears. All of that build-up of romantic emotional attraction, which could have been building, is likely extinguished every time you reach out. So although this isn't an exact science, what I would suggest is that start, no contact is going to be delaying your ex the dumper missing you. And if they don't miss you, they won't come back. The only reason your ex will want to come back is if they grow enough romantic emotional attraction for you. It hits the necessary high point and they miss you. If they don't miss you, they won't want to reconnect. And how can they miss you if you keep texting them? If you're in their orbit, if you're in their life, how can they miss you? So please consider that, dumpees. Because if you want to get your ex back, you need your ex to miss you. And they can't miss you if you're using start, no contact.